Thank you.
Anything else?
She's coming up here. Hold on.
Paul is in for public comment.
I can't hear you, Paula. I know who you are, but you want to state your name?
My name is Paula Dodson. I live in the downtown on 1118 Historic Lincoln Street. I am here to discuss the vacation of the alley that you folks took care of at the beginning of the year. This is the alley that runs between 11th and 12th from John to now Chase. At the time that you agreed to the vacation, it went all the way to Jackson. We can't get our trash picked up. Bestway will not make the corners. They say that they cannot make the corners where Mr. Oakley and you folks agreed to the fence and closure of that alley. It took 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago for my trash and anyone else in that alley to get their trash picked up. Last week, it took a week and a half. My trash was not picked up today, like it was supposed to be picked up yesterday, and it still has not been picked up. I can look from my trash all the way down the alley to John, and all the way the other way to the east, and no one has had their trash picked up. Bestway has said that they cannot make that corner from our alley onto Chase Street. They have told me and one of my neighbors that we should put our trash out on the streets in front of our homes. Well, that's a hill for me. I physically cannot do that hill to put my trash out. One of my neighbors, Ms. Dunton, who is unable to be here tonight, she's healing from physical therapy. Her trash is out on the alley by her garage. She's been told to put it out on the street. Well, she can't get it out on the street. She has no physical way. Ms. Scheidler, who's been in contact with a number of folks in the city, and Mr. Newman, she can't get her trash out. We have the issue of, I drive a Fit. I don't know if you folks don't know how small a Honda Fit is. It took 2 passes at trying for me to turn that corner on the alley onto Chase to get to 11th Street. Come wintertime, this is going to be miserable. It's going to be dangerous. It's already become dangerous. I have watched 2 cars as well. I've experienced my own. I have seen 2 other cars take multiple attempts to get from our alley onto Chase Street, and they have tried so many times that they have backed up the alley to the street or alley that runs between 12th Street and 11th, the old O.C. Clark business. There's, I guess, a public throughway there, but that's what's used by their employees, and I've seen cars have to back up the alley to that street, as it were, to get to 11th Street. This is not safe. I am not concerned with what Mrs. Oakley and Mr. Oakley said about the number of vehicles driving down that alley and quote unquote endangering their children. They have endangered a number of people and inconvenienced a business hired by the city to take up our trash. This is not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. We've tried to speak, I left text from Mr. Ikes, I've spoken to Mr. Newman, Ms. Dunsman has spoken to Mr. Newman, Jenna Schuyler, a neighbor, has spoken to Mr. Newman. He knows what's going on, and it's not acceptable. I and my neighbors would ask respectfully that you would rescind that vacation and give us our safe alley back and give us our trash pickup back.
You know, I also received a couple calls. I was in agreement with you guys in the beginning. And in addition to contacting
Speak up, I can't hear you.
twice I have been called, and I've given numbers, the 648-6000 of the mayor, and for the building commissioner, 648 57. But anyway, and so I passed on the comments of the people there, the trouble that they were having. So I want you to know that myself, and I know Councilman Newman has been up on that. We objected to that being done in the beginning.
Yes,
I
we
know
did.
that you have,
Yeah,
and we
it's one
greatly
hell
appreciate
You
it.
can't hardly get an automobile,
Thank
a regular
you.
automobile down that alley and make that turn. I know it's hell getting a garbage truck to make that turn.
I think that alley was created and the trash was put there way back in the day when trash trucks were significantly smaller. I appreciate that the trash trucks are now not that small, but something has to happen.
I would ask them to keep making calls, and I'm sure myself, and I'm sure Councilman Newman will also stay on that.
Stay on.
But that
I
doesn't,
know.
that still allows you to rescind that vacation and give us the alley back.
And then you can get someone to write the ordinance, I'll support it. I'm not telling you where to pass, but I will support the rescinding that order.
I appreciate that.
Who did you talk to at Bestway so we can,
I talked to the supervisor.
you have a name,
I don't, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
but a supervisor?
Yes.
Don't matter.
Letter, and I'm going back on that. When that came to us as a vacation, we all got a letter from Bestway saying it would not be an issue.
I know.
So I'm saying, so look at it from my side as a guy that's running Bestway says it's not going to be an issue. I'm going to trust the Bestway driver. So somebody needs to get a hold of Bestway and say,
I want
hey,
to say something, Paula.
No
have you talked
offense.
to- I
No,
don't know if you talked to-
David is the chairman of the board. He's listening to this.
I'm the one that got you the letter.
Okay.
So, no,
I know that when this whole mess started, there were a number of neighbors, myself included.
yes, it was.
To speak to the fact that Bestway might have said, hey, yeah, we can turn that corner, but neighbors know differently. We've watched the trash trucks try to make those corners. We've watched them. There's a huge steel pole, concrete filled steel pole at the garage that is to the northeast corner, I'm sorry, the northwest corner of that intersection on Chase and the alley. So the trash truck has to not only navigate the fence and the giant pieces of limestone that Mr. Oakley has, they also have to worry about this steel and concrete pole.
I'm sorry, Paula, is that the same corner that I had requested that the Oakleys round that off so the trash?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
When's
But-
the last time you did speak with Bestway?
Day before yesterday,
Okay.
my husband did. And we've had it with them. And what are we supposed to do?
Do you guys have the big trash cans or the smaller size?
We have the
ones?
big trash cans.
What about your neighbor that can't get hers out?
All of
this
us
all
have
have
the
big
large
ones?
trash cans, and we all have.
Would that possibly be an option to help to get the smaller can?
No, it's not an issue of the can size, it's an issue of the fact that the alley is big enough for the truck to get through. The problem is the turn from our alley onto Chase.
And they haven't rounded that corner.
They
yet.
can't. They
No,
can't.
I'm
They
talking about
have,
the property on the Oakley side where they were supposed to round that so that everybody could make that.
they
turn.
can't.
You don't
Irrespective.
think it will work?
No, it won't work.
Okay.
We have an issue with, this is a different intersection. This is the same alley back at John Street, to the west at John Street. The trash trucks have to come through the wrong way on 12th to John to make that curve. They are making, I can't tell you how big a trench that those trucks have made in that property owner's land. It's,
Horrible.
I don't know if it's incompetent drivers. I don't know if it's the rescindance or the vacation of that alley. I know that it's not our trash can size. Okay?
No, it's not the trash can size.
Well, to speak to
Well, I was
Mrs.
just
Harless,
wondering, because she said because of the physical reasons for getting into the street, if you had a smaller can, would that
No.
help you to be able to move it to the street?
I can't-
If that becomes a thing that we have to do.
I have neighbors that cannot physically move their trash cans to the street. Their trash is
I
picked
thought
up
it was a
on the
bad
alley.
idea in the beginning.
I appreciate that,
To do
Mr. Dixon. It
To do
was-
special favors for anyone, for the
Yes.
Oakleys to be able to, here we are, we vacating the alley for individuals, friends or whatever, and having those people, older people, people that's
Handicapped.
property, pushing a damn trash can all the way out to the front of the street. Nowhere else in the city has anyone been accommodated like that. So I'm in favor of you guys. I don't know what I can do about it, but I'm gonna express how I feel about it.
Ms. Harless,
Yes, sir?
when this came upon council, I voted no. I knocked on the doors,
I voted no too, John.
And then the three of us said,
and,
I voted no.
I've been friends with, the Daltons for a number of years, as well as Ms. Donovan and her neighbor. We've talked extensively about this problem. I just don't know what to do about it, except rewrite it, bring it upon the council, like Paula has suggested, to rescind it. Because it's not about people in my age down to her age, which the majority of the people in this neighborhood fall in there. It's not right when my tax dollars goes in to pay the trash pickup and Bestway can't produce the service. That's what we get for having a closed commodity. That's it.
Have you called Bestway, Joe?
Yes.
And what did they say?
Well, the woman that answered the phone, she said, well, you're gonna have to see the city. And I said, ma'am, I'm part of the city. Now what's your excuse? She him hauled around.
she don't know, she wanna get y'all.
I-
You know,
Well, I want to say something.
So you never talked to a supervisor or anything
No.
like that?
why waste my time when they're gonna give me the,
Well, at least you have to talk to a supervisor. I mean,
We
I'll
have
call.
tried. We have tried.
I'll call.
Well, we're
If
good.
they cannot do the alley, if they finally man up and say, we can't make that alley. We thought we could at first. Our measurements said we could
They knew
at
they
first,
couldn't.
but physically they cannot. Which is what we came to you folks saying, they cannot make the alley.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got nothing for it. You know, Oakley's were putting their trash out on the alley. They had mountains of trash. Well, they have not completed the gates at that alley that they said and agreed that they were going to create. From the historic commission standpoint, they did not build the fence they said they were going to build. They built a wall. It's in the historic commission guidelines that no stockades are to be built. They built a 1 acre stockade wall. Nobody can go through it. They haven't built the gate out on the front across 11th Street as they said they were going to do. They have not stood by their agreement with the city either. And those of us who want our trash picked up are stuck in the middle of it. And that's all I want to say, and I thank you so much for your attention.
Thanks, Paul.
I want to say something. I want to say to the new council